Caroline Kaiser.
Hi, and I'm Detective Sam.
We have recently uncovered the mystery of the killings of the vampire of Sacramento.
Hi, I'm Richard Chase. I was born May 23rd, 1950, and I was a known serial killer in the 70s. I have detectives trying to detect my bad business, and I just want to tell you a little about myself. When I was a kid, I was abused by my parents. I set fires for fun, and I ate animals raw. Yeah, I said it, raw. I also received beatings from my father. That's the abuse I was talking about. He hit me hard sometimes, and it really changed me. Overall, I had strict disciplinary actions from my parents, and my father kicked me out of my house, and that's when my delusions began. My nickname was the Vampire of Sacramento. I terrorized people of California. I would drink their blood after I killed them, and it helped me satisfy my delusion. I guess it's a delusion. I thought it was real. The Nazis, they were trying to turn my blood into powder, and I drank the blood to get them away from me because I didn't want the Nazis coming after me, you know?
In 1975, Richard Chase was briefly institutionalized and given a heavy treatment of drugs. Even though he killed animals while in the institution, they shortly released him and ceased his treatment of anti-schizophrenic drugs. Then he began. He neglected his health, developed an obsession with handguns, and was found more than once covered in blood and screaming somewhere in the neighborhood. Doctors treated Chase with the usual drugs used for schizophrenia, with little success. This convinced doctors that his illness was due to heavy drug use and not schizophrenia. In his first killing, Richard Chase fired his .22 into someone's kitchen. No one was harmed, but it sparked something inside of him. 2 days later, he shot and killed Ambrose Griffin in a random drive-by. Griffin was officially the first murder victim, but Chase took to breaking and entering, stealing, and generally victimizing behavior in these days following.
Chase continued to enter homes until he came across the home of David and Teresa Wallen. David was at work. Teresa, 3 months pregnant, was in the middle of taking out the garbage and thus had left the front door unlocked and open. Chase surprised her in the home and shot her 3 times. It was the same gun used to kill Ambrose Griffin. Chase then dragged the body into her bedroom and raped it after she was dead, while repeatedly stabbing it with a butcher knife. When he had finished, he carved the corpse open and removed several of her organs, using a bucket to collect the blood and then taking it into the bathroom to bathe in it. He then sliced off her nipple and drank her blood, using an empty yogurt container as a drinking glass. Before leaving, he went into the backyard, found a pile of dog feces, and returned to stuff it into the corpse's mouth and throat.
I do it. On January 27, 1978, the bodies of Evelyn Maroth, age 38, her 6-year-old son Jason, and friend Dan Meredith were found murdered inside Evelyn's home. Missing was Evelyn's 22-month-old nephew, David, who she had been babysitting. The crime scene was horrific. Dan Meredith's body was found in the hallway. He was killed by a direct gunshot wound to his head. Evelyn and Jason were found in Evelyn's bedroom. Jason had been shot twice in the head.
As a detective team, we have evaluated Richard Chase over 7 criteria.
The first one is a need for stimulation. Chase ambushed Teresa and shot her with the same gun used to kill Griffin. Then he raped her body after she died from her head wounds and carved it up with a butcher knife. He drank the blood of the organs and bathed in it, and finished the crime by stuffing dog feces into the mouth of the corpse.
The second criteria is juvenile delinquency and early behavioral problems. In his teens, he became an alcoholic and also developed a need for killing, mutilating animals, and fire starting, all common amongst serial killers in their youth. He also got caught with the possession of marijuana.
The third criteria is lack of remorse or guilt. His parents put him up in an apartment where he began to capture, torture to death, and then drink the blood of rabbits, dogs, and cats. On occasion, he killed and ate neighbors' pets, and at least once contacted the neighbor by telephone to explain what he had done.
The next criteria is callous and lack of empathy. Inside of Chase's refrigerator, police found several animal body parts wrapped in aluminum foil. David's brains in a Tupperware container and pieces of his body wrapped in saran wrap, and several of Evelyn Muraugh's and Teresa Wallen's internal organs.
Another psychopathic characteristic of Richard Chase is promiscuous sexual behavior. He would rape his victims, specifically their dead corpses.
The next criteria is lack of realistic and long-term goals. He didn't finish college and wasn't a very good student overall.
The last one is criminal versatility. He committed multiple crimes of trespassing, rape, and murder. He was also very proud of all of his work.
As true for most serial killers, Richard Chase's story doesn't have a happy ending.
In 1979, a jury found Chase guilty on 6 accounts of first-degree murder, and he was sentenced to die in the gas chamber. Disturbed by the gruesome details of his crimes, other prisoners wanted him gone and often tried to talk to him into killing himself. Whether it was the constant suggestions or just his own tortured mind, Chase managed to collect enough prescribed antidepressants to kill himself. On December 26, 1890, prison officials discovered him dead in his cell from an overdose of the medications.